Hey guys, AscendantGod here, and below. Here with Raid Shadow Legends. Going to be touching on a sensitive subject today, which is the problems with the endgame content in Raid, as well as just some general issues, why it's broken, and some solutions, because I don't see any point in complaining about something unless you're willing to offer solutions on how to fix those things. Now, the reason that this is coming up is because recently Raid Shadow Legends was nominated as a potential app of the year or something like that. Honestly, with the game's online reviews outside of the areas where Plarium can regulate them, like on their forums and Discord, I'm talking about reviews where they can't censor them or block things or delete content. It makes me honestly shocked that they were even nominated. It spurred on a lot of negative feedback about players feeling that Plarium doesn't deserve it for Raid Shadow Legends, and under the circumstances, I can't blame them, and hopefully, if you don't understand why, hopefully this video will help make more sense of it. The content creators like myself, a lot of them are even doing videos of, well, why should I? And as such, since Plarium doesn't listen to the players, which is the biggest issue, I thought I'd give you guys a place to be heard here. I will try to get this out there as best as I can, but Plarium hasn't listened to us since I first started playing earlier this year, and I don't see that changing, regretfully, and that's kind of a part of the reason why the game is going downhill. And you see that all over the web. I mean, again, you don't see it much on their forums, but you also see posts left and right on the forums of saying, oh, there was this thread about this issue, but it was deleted. There was this thread about this issue, but it was deleted. Plarium tries to cover up their issues and sweep them under the rug, but then you see it all over the web, and it just makes them look even worse, that it's like, it's clear that you guys are deceptively hiding these things rather than acknowledging them and saying, you know what, we need to fix them. And it's really frustrating to players. As far as Plarium, I mean, there is a little bit of feedback I want to give you guys too, because like I said, I want to try to give solutions here and hopefully give a little bit of constructive criticism here. I mean, you guys really need to start doing polls on the forums. You at Plarium will see all this is spot on. As far as in Discord, it's worthless. Honestly, Discord, I haven't even been able to access your Discord channel for months because, to be completely honest, you have a bunch of kids regulating that are egotistical and power happy, and they will block people at the drop of a hat for any stupid little reason. Like there was a moderator that I saw that was trolling people in the thread and talking down to people, and when people would say anything back to him, is ban, 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 ban. That's childish. That is really childish, inappropriate, unprofessional. That's why, like, I don't even care that I was banned on the official Discord channel. I don't care to go back there. To me, it's trash. It's regulated by a bunch of children that are immature. But anyway, that's a whole different story, though. I don't want to make this my personal issues. I want to make this the issues that the majority of the players have been bringing up that aren't being heard. Now, a number of content creators recently flamed Plarium for a lot of the same issues. I'm going to try to keep from making this a flaming video and keep it constructive. And the thing is, too, Plarium, if we didn't care, we wouldn't complain. We'd just leave and go play something else that doesn't cost us the equivalent of a Lamborghini to be a top-tier player. All right? I mean, seriously, Plarium, it's pixels. Pixels. All right? The biggest issue overall is your prices. I mean, literally hundreds of dollars to max out each legendary, let alone the cost to get them to begin with, and the complete RNG that never guarantees any rewards despite effort being put into the game or money being put into the game. So here are the top issues I've come across from dozens and dozens of players that I've gotten feedback from. I tried to remain as neutral as possible here, so I'm not even getting into my personal issues with the game and my disgruntlements. I'm just covering what I know are the top issues people are complaining about currently. So, number one issue on the top of the list, not getting any more rewards after the first few months. All right. Now, you throw tons of stuff at the beginning of the game to entice us in, but then all the rewards just vanish. Like, for example, like the daily login. I don't even know if I can, yeah, it's not even over here anymore, but the daily login you have, that's done after 90 days. I get a couple of champions that are semi-viable for beginning game content, and then after 90 days, nothing anymore. That kind of sucks. The progression rewards. Once I hit level 60, I get one sacred shard for going through all the effort to get to level 60, and then that's it. And along the way, I'm getting rare tombs, epic tombs. I mean, by the time that you're hitting like, level 35, level 40, you're usually not going to need rare tombs. They're garbage. Like, it's like you guys are giving us stuff that's fairly worthless. It's frustrating. All right, and that's another topic though. Now, so you got the issue with the daily login, you got the issue with the progression rewards, you got the issue with the challenges. Once the challenges are very limited, and once they're done, there's nothing left. I mean, it's like the dungeons. I'm finished with all this, nothing left as far as rewards from the dungeons. Arena, same thing. I've done all of them, nothing left as far as rewards there. Champions, same thing. The only thing I have left is the artifacts. And these ones, I don't even see it as feasible to like get those. I'm going to get 2 epic tombs. I don't need epic tombs, so it's like, why? And this is for like end game content. The last of challenges is going to give me epic tombs. I mean, come on, like that's garbage. Like, no, not for getting to the very end of the challenges. I should not be getting an epic tomb. I mean, come on. So it's like I haven't even bothered with that challenge, because it's like, why am I going to farm for that gear and load somebody up with that gear and then pay like 500,000 coin to remove that gear from them once I do put the gear on them, all for a couple of epic tombs that I don't even need. I need the coins more. So it doesn't make sense. And missions, same thing. Once the missions are over, yeah, you get Arbiter, which is awesome. And I mean, at least you get a couple of legendary tombs, a sacred shard here, 300 gems, which is modest. So I mean, the missions actually give you some decent rewards, especially Arbiter's great. And Arbiter's for end game content, it's one of the very few things you can get in these progression reward types of things that gives you something that you can use in end game content, which is great, along with the 2 legendary tombs. But once you've done it, it's incredible. You completed every progress mission. Great, I'm incredible. But now, nothing left to do there. No rewards left. There's no more missions. And so now that's over. And then, same thing with the campaign. Once you do the campaign all the way to the very end, great. I got 252 stars. I got every single star in all the campaign. I got a sacred shard. Other than that, most of this was just garbage prior to it. And then now, like part 5 of 5, 252 out of 252. Well, nothing left to gain in that either. So, everything comes to this screeching halt at a point where you have no incentive to earn anything at all, and you can't earn anything at all other than the events. And the events give very little rewards for hours and hours of effort, and usually a lot of money to buy all the energy necessary to complete them. Like, let me put it this way. I do it because I still need to level up a lot of champions for faction wars, and that's really about it. But other than that, there isn't really incentive for me to be doing this. But with the champion training here, just case in point, if this ever loads, and I can show you. Anyway, all right, so, great, finally. Now look at these rewards, okay? So, what is 100,000 coins? Ooh, I can try to level a piece of gear from level 10 to 11 a few times, and maybe I will. That's 100,000 is a joke. I mean, this 125,000 is again a joke. Legendary criticals, I mean, that's kind of cool that we're getting legendary critical rate artifacts. Those are cool, albeit like that's decent rewards. 30 gems, no. Rare tomb, worthless. Worthless for endgame. There's no rare champions other than, like, say, Coldheart and Painkeeper if you're making a broken immortal, like, group. Nothing else you're going to use rare tombs for. So everybody that's in endgame has an overabundance of rare tombs they don't have anything to do with, and they're garbage. Some ancient shards here, that's okay, but most likely ancient shards are going to get me some rare champions for food. A Bombardier, which is garbage. Void shard, 1 void shard, which is nice. Umbral Enchantress, which is a decent champion. She's actually better than the fusion champion, which is nice. And then 1 legendary skill tomb. So that's 1/14 of what I typically need to max out a legendary. and I have to go all the way up to 25,000 points in order to get one legendary skill tomb. Honestly, with the amount of time and effort and everything that it takes to get this, it makes more sense to buy a pack of 7 legendary tombs for $100. Like, it's less time and effort, and with how much it would cost me in energy and time to get up to that legendary tomb, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So the rewards like aren't really worth the effort in a lot of these things unless you're doing it for other reasons. Like I said, I still need to level up champions, so to me it's feasible to do this. Plus I'm bored, I have nothing else to do, so it's like, why not? But you look at the points here for everything, this is very, very time consuming. I mean, even I have like a speed farming champion for the campaign where I farm it in on average about 10 to 11 seconds on average, sometimes faster. But even then, it's like I'm only up to about like 1/3 of the completion of this. And I've been doing it a lot throughout the last several days, like almost constantly throughout the day here and there. I've been farming this stuff pretty consistently, so it's very, very time consuming. And then, but other than these events and the tournaments, there's not any other rewards, and those rewards aren't that great. So it's like no more challenges, no more missions, no more progress rewards, no more login rewards. All those things are gone at the end, and then it's like, well, why the heck am I still playing? You were only rewarding me in the beginning to get me roped in. I mean, it's clear as day. It was manipulative. It was like you wanted to get us roped in, but then it's like, oh, well, now we're not going to give you anything else because you're already invested into the game. Well, why are we going to stay invested if there isn't any more incentives to? And that's the problem, is we run out of incentives to do so. So that's one of the big issues here, is the lack of rewards to people who are veterans. Number two, second, is Clan Boss. Ultra Nightmare rewards are a joke. I mean, seriously, 95% of the time, if not more, you get rare tombs from it. And I mean, there was literally for 2 weeks straight, I took screenshots of the rewards that I was getting. For 2 weeks straight, I got all rare tombs except for, I think it was 2 days out of those. I got 1 epic tomb here and 1 epic tomb there. So 2 epic tombs, and other than that, all rare tombs, which are garbage. Like, and I understand you over at Plarium, you want to sell the tombs, especially because you sell 7 of them for $100, which I think is insane. But the thing is that if somebody goes through enough trouble spending hundreds of dollars that are necessary to go from Nightmare up to Ultra Nightmare, like, they expect some kind of reward they could actually use. And that's the thing. I mean, giving players like a legendary tomb once a week or so and an epic tomb over rares here and there is not going to kill sales. It'll actually increase them because it'll help maintain retention. 2 of the biggest reasons people quit are either because of how much they spend on the game and they get such little in return, or because they get bored. And if they get more tombs and they can play with more of their champions, that would increase their tendency to stay. Because, you know, the players that are playing Ultra Nightmare are typically paying players. And you want to stop chasing them away. And trust me, you're chasing them away. I can't even count how many players I know have quit since I started playing about 6 months ago. And the issue in this video, I mean, these issues, I should say plural, in the video are why. Ultra Nightmare not being worth it is a huge one. In my previous clan, I had to change clans. I loved my old clan, and that was a part of what keeps people engaged, is being actively socially engaged with their clan. I had to leave my clan because my clan, I was up to Ultra Nightmare, getting those joke of rewards, and showing them. They're like, oh, well, show us the rewards you're getting from Ultra Nightmare because we want to see if we want to spend a few hundred leveling up our champions and getting the gear and everything to be able to get up to Ultra Nightmare. And I started showing them the rewards. They were like, nope, we're not doing it. As a clan, they decided not to do it. They saw no reason to. And a couple of people, after seeing my rewards for 2 weeks, literally, not, I shouldn't say a couple, three of the players in my previous guild stopped playing. They said, I'm not going to get any decent rewards from Ultra Nightmare. Why am I going to go through that trouble? I'm not going to do that. That makes no sense. They stopped playing. They're like, there's no point in me progressing, and I'm sick and tired of farming Nightmare for rewards that aren't that good either. So you're losing players by not giving them decent rewards. You have to find an equilibrium there where it's like, yeah, I understand you want to sell some stuff, but at the same time, stop being so stingy for sales, because being so stingy is hurting your sales far more than it's helping them, because again, it is killing your retention. And there's only so many game players out there that you can burn through until you burn through the majority of them. I mean, yes, over time, there's like kids that grow up and start playing the games that weren't playing them, so you do have newcomers, but if you're burning through game players faster than new ones are coming in, the game has a limited shelf life, and I can guarantee if you look at your numbers, you're doing that right now. I absolutely, without a single doubt in my mind, guarantee you're losing players faster than you're gaining them right now, and that is a big part of the reason why there. I mean, it's insulting that we work so hard just for rare tombs. I mean, no one doing Ultra Nightmare needs rare tombs. You developers know that. You people running the show over there know that. I mean, it's chasing players away. A lot of players doing Nightmare currently aren't even bothering to try to improve up to Ultra Nightmare, since the rewards are just about the same. I mean, the artifacts are only marginally better, and usually they're trash anyway. It's not worth the effort because it's such a tiny increase in loot. And I mean, and I am going to offer some solutions. I want to cover the issues first, but that is a very, very big issue. All right. Arena. Arena is just, it's all about speed. It's no fun. It's just speed. I mean, you look at like Gold 4, the majority of them is speed aura, speed aura, speed aura, speed aura, speed aura. This guy doesn't have a speed aura. He has a resist. Easy win. It's an easy win for me. I don't know why people in Gold 4 do it. I think they do it out of boredom, or it's because you can't see what happens in your defense arena. So you figure like, oh, well, resist will be good in arena. But, I mean, look at this. It's all about speed. I'm faster, so I'm going to win. Watch what happens here. Defense down, weaken. Big Un comes in for the kill. Boom, everything's dead except for one. And now he's dead. That's no fun. And that's how it goes 99% of the time. That is no fun. It's not, there isn't anything to it. It's either I go first and I win, or the enemy goes and most likely they win. And that's it. So this is not fun. I mean, again, look at this same pattern. Like if you have a really solid team for Arena, not everybody has Dracomorph, but they're going to have somebody like, say, Tyrell or Skull Crown with either an AoE defense down or an AoE weaken, and then this is what happens. Again, this is not fun. This is tedious, and there's no excitement to it, because this is, like, in the end game, this is what we're doing. And Platinum, yeah, sure, it's nice that you're giving a higher level with hopefully better rewards, but again, Platinum's going to be the same thing. It's just going to be that we need to be faster or else we're going to lose. You know, and this here, like, this, I don't understand with this. The Skull Crown is just annoying. She doesn't help you win. She's just annoying. But I'll intentionally go after groups with Skull Crown just because it annoys me that they have Skull Crown. She's just annoying, that's all. But again, I mean, another defense one, this is an easy win. But anyway, yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to fill it. But you get my point there. It's just about speed. The arena is no fun at all in its current state because speed is king. That's all that it's about. You go first, you win. You don't go first, you lose. Next issue, faction wars. Faction war, excuse me. The effort is not worth the rewards here. I mean, yeah, you guys are planning to nerf it over there at Plarium, but even then, the rewards are really nothing that great. I mean, you look at the list of the bosses here, like my Banner Lords is a joke. This is one of the worst ones, but let me show a better example with Sacred Order. I have a really, really solid team for Sacred Order. You get past that stage 7 and your reward is a rare tomb. Nobody that's able to down stage 7 is going to need rare tombs by that point. And then stage 14, then you get an epic tomb. Again, people that are able to handle the stage 14 boss are not going to need epic tombs at that point. I mean, maybe a few people are going to have really solid epic champions, but still giving us one single epic tomb as a reward, like, I mean, would it have killed you to give like 2 or 3? I mean, considering most champions need 14 of them, come on, like, give it at least a little bit better. I mean, even if I do stage 21, which is going to be insanely hard, I don't know anybody personally that's able to handle stage 21. I know there's a few people with God-broken Immortal groups that can, but unless you're making God-broken Immortal groups with God tier champions, and which is, again, those people who have spent the equivalent of, like, instead of buying a Ferrari, they invested thousands and thousands into the game. and you're going to get one legendary tomb as a reward for that effort? I mean, come on, that's insulting. Like, even after you nerf the content, it's still, like, there's no huge incentive to do this. Because, I mean, even look at these rewards. I'm going to get a rare freaking tomb. Who cares? An ancient shard. Who cares? Some coins. What is, God only knows, 175,000. That's a joke. I mean, 1,000,000 in this game nowadays is a joke. One void shard. One epic skill tomb. I mean, to progress that much, and I mean, that's a lot of progression that I need to do. Like, it's like, why? Why am I going to go through the trouble to do that? It's not there. Even after you nerf this content, a lot of people don't even care. A lot of people had said, even after they nerf it, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to still do auto-run groups in Faction Wars and whatever groups that I can that are the most feasible. Like my Sacred Order, like I said, they're one of my strongest. And I can only get up to stage 15. I think the highest I've gotten up to in anything is stage 16 with high elves. But anyway, but yeah, the effort isn't worth the rewards. And even after you nerf it, the rewards are still a joke. So there's still a problem there as far as the rewards not being worth it in the glyphs. Like, it sucks when it's like I could get like a friggin' 5-star glyph up here and then still only get the bonus from a glyph as I could from one that's a 1-star. Like, that you guys really, I understand you want to always incorporate RNG in this game for sales, but RNG to this extent is insane. I mean, look at this, like this speed here. I could end up only getting 1 speed. This 4-star glyph that I earned through hundreds and hundreds of dollars of investment into the game and hours of leveling champions up to earn a 4-star, and I could end up getting the same reward from it as I could from a 1-star. It's like, why? I mean, the same with the defense here. I could end up with 1%. So it's like, why? Like, it should at least be like 3 to 5%, a bare minimum 2 to 5%. I mean, at least there should be a guarantee of at least a little bit better reward than a 1-star, because otherwise it's like, why am I bothering here? And a lot of people have brought up that complaint, and honestly, I can't blame them. So, and then that ties into the next issue, which is that everything is so grindy that nobody wants to do it. There's no incentive to do any of the content on manual, whether it be campaign, faction wars, whatever. I mean, even with clan boss, it's way too repetitive and boring. All of these, they're all just they're just about grinding the same stuff over and over and over and over. It's repetitive, it's boring. The goal of us vets is to get all of our content to be auto-friendly. So then we aren't even playing anymore, and then eventually, you know, that's why vets get to the point where they're like, well, why am I going to even bother? You know, it'd great to see some content or a setup where manually doing the content gives better rewards than just mindlessly setting it to auto and walking away. Like, seriously, like, think about giving a bonus reward on encounters where the player doesn't have it set to auto. Because I mean, even with like Ultra Nightmare, most of the time if I can get at least 1 or 2 keys into Ultra Nightmare before it's below 50%, I can usually 4-key it on auto and I don't do anything. So then I'm not playing it anymore. I'm just hoping to get semi-decent rewards to level some stuff up that I'm going to have on auto on other encounters. So that's kind of why I'm to that point where I'm like, why am I doing this other than for making content for YouTube? That's it, and to try to help out newcomers. But that's more than anything, I'm doing it just to help out other players that are trying to work their way up and figuring out what they should be doing. But I mean, manually doing content should give better rewards than just mindlessly setting it to auto. It really should. I mean, you deserve a better reward if you're doing it on manual, whether it be on the clan boss or faction wars or arena, whatever have you. You should be getting better rewards for manual runs compared to auto runs. And that's something very easy to set up in the game. It is. Like with some of them, like Arena, it might be a little bit harder, but for like Clan Boss, that'd be easy to increase the rewards, increase the chances or something, and make it transparent. And saying like doing it manually increases your chances at a legendary tomb by, say, 5% per, well, maybe not 5%. I know you guys would never do 5%, but say like for each manual run you do on Ultra Nightmare per key, you get an extra 2% chance at a legendary tomb. You know, so say if I do 4 runs on manual, that's going to be like probably about almost an hour of my day. I would say at least like 40 to 45 minutes of my day for 4 keys manually, and then increasing my chances of getting a legendary tomb as a result by like, say, you know, 12%. I mean, yeah. maybe not 12%, but you get what I'm saying. Even if it's just an increase of like, 6 or 7% chance to get a legendary tomb, that would still at least be enough incentive to, spend 45 minutes to an hour of my day on it rather than just setting it to auto. Nobody wants to manually do this content if they can do it on auto and get the same rewards. So that's an issue too. And then, the thing is that it's also really frustrating that the game, more than like anybody who's played this game really for more than a few months knows the only rewards from this game come from spending more money on it. There's absolutely no sense of accomplishment there. And actually, in fact, in my opinion, it's sort of more embarrassing to know that the only reason a player is doing more damage than somebody else is because they were willing to waste more money on the app. I mean, I know some people brag about how much damage they do on Clan Boss or, how high they've gotten in Faction Wars, but then it's like, yeah, dude, but how much money did you spend to get there? Like, what, $6,000-$7,000 on an app? Like, you don't have anything to brag about. Like, that's not smart. It's not a good investment, in my opinion. Now, I mean, of course, paying should give you some edge to an extent, but this game runs almost exclusively around how much you've spent on the game. That's what determines your progress, not how much effort you've put into it, but how much money you've spent on it. And that is a big part of what deters people as well, is because it's very, very transparent to any of us who are veterans. And that also ties into the next thing, is the cost. Like, I mean, champions, legendary shards, legendary shards in this game are like, it's like $20 a shard. Look at this, 12 void shards, $70. I opened 20 void shards the other day, which, I mean, according to this here, was more than $70 worth. 20, like, I mean, probably like the equivalent of, I would say the bare minimum with a really good deal in the game. And I say really good, relatively speaking, none of the deals in here are good, but 20 shards is going to cost you bare minimum $70 in the game. More realistically, closer to 100. So I spent $100 worth of void shards opening them, 20 of them, for garbage. Like, nothing that I'm going to use. I got a man-eater, which, I mean, yeah, I could make an immortal group, but then I have to do it manually, and I don't want to do it manually because it's not fun. But it's one step closer to doing something new that I haven't done, but I need at least one more man-eater to make him an immortal group. But then I'm God-broken. And that's another issue of the game, is God-broken teams, but that isn't one of the top issues, so I'm not getting into that in this. But the costs here, though, seriously, guys, I mean, these 12 shards and 1250 gems, $70. That's crazy. Most likely, they're not going to get anything that great from these void shards. So, I mean, these prices are just crazy. Like, these chickens, $70 for this, like... And then I got to spend coins to use the brews, and brews can be really freaking expensive. It's like, I don't want brews. I don't like brews. This Conqueror pack here, like, and then you guys have been slipping in a $10 one, thinking we wouldn't notice. Like, somebody was really frustrated about that in the game yesterday, where they, like, in the clan, they were complaining about it in the discussion forums, where they're like, this is really underhanded that you guys, like, tried to slip this in, and it was still only one ancient shard, and yet it was double the money. And it's like, really, guys? Like, that was just, he felt it was really underhanded. I'm not speaking for myself. $40 for this stuff? Like, and it's only epics. 350 energy? I mean, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And because most likely, like, these boots are going to end up with, like, raw defense or raw hit points. Unless it's speed, it's worthless. Why am I going to pay $40 at a, like, what is it? What, a 1 in 7 or 1 in 8? I don't know how many different stats there are. I'd say probably about a 1 in 8 chance of getting the right stat on the boots, which are speed. No way. No, this isn't worth it. I mean, and you consider, like, the packs of legendary tombs, like 7 legendary tombs cost $100. $100. And just for those of you who haven't taken a look yet, for Brakus, just so you know, Brakus needs 16 tombs. Look at this. 4, 10. Wait, no, excuse me. 4, hold on. 4, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, here's the other 16. 16 tombs to max him out. I mean, you'd need to buy 3 packages that are $100 each. There's $300 worth of in-game purchases to max him out. And he's not even that great. Like, that's crazy. I mean, over $300 just to max out one single legendary. And then the tombs, I mean, just that's crazy. I mean, and the average champion needs at least 12 to 14 tombs. So that's at least $200 that you'd have to pay to max most of them. And I mean, with him needing 16 and not even being that great, that's just crazy. And I mean, sure, Polarium's staff argue that you don't have to pay and you can earn these things in the game, but let's be honest. I mean, really, like earning any legendary tomb in any event, whether it be the events or the tournaments, it always costs at least bare minimum $10 to $15 of in-game energy, usually more. And then the hours and hours you have to put into it, it ends up costing you more to earn them than it does to flat out buy them. And so in short, you're looking at a minimum of about $540 of in-game purchases here just to get one single legendary maxed out. These prices are just crazy. That is insane. It really is. I mean, more than anything else, what chases players away are these prices. It really is. You pay so much for so little in this game that players look at their wallet one day and go, why the hell am I wasting all of this money on this game when I can go out and spend this on other things? Like, I could buy a friggin', like a cruise, like a really nice, like 3-day cruise for the amount that I could spend on this game to maybe get a couple of legendaries. Like, that makes no sense. It really makes no sense at all. There's so many better things out there that you could spend the money on. Like, it's gambling addictions that you're relying on here. And addictions only last so long, and then people come to their senses and they run away, And then number 7, people quitting from the cost and boredom. We already covered the cost, but after they spend a few hundred and see it got them nowhere compared to people who spent thousands on the game, they give up. They spend that much money and then get stuck using the same 5 champions on Nightmare every single day and the same 4 champions in Arena every single day. Like, I mean, in my group, like, I mean, I have 5 best champions for Clan Boss. I always use the same 5, and we're well aware that if we spend a few hundred more, there's only a very, very small chance that we'll get anything worthwhile, because people start to come to their senses and ask, why bother? Like, you guys are spewing out like so many new champions all the time, like this 14 new challengers summon now, like basically saying buy some more shards because we just added some more. We don't want to buy more shards. These champions, like, you're watering down the counterattack champions, and you're watering down the really, really good champions, making it harder to get them, and that's not increasing people's desire to buy. This is decreasing it when you're adding more trash like this. I mean, and why are we going to buy it? Like, to use okay, maybe I'll get another, like, if I spend $300 on this game, maybe if I'm lucky, I'd get a new champion to use on Ultra Nightmare, and maybe I'll increase my damage by, say, 2 million on it if I'm really lucky. But then I'm using those same 5 over and over and over again from there on out. Like, I mean, and plus, like, imagine how somebody earning an average hourly pay of, say, $12 an hour, or, some people it's even less than that. Imagine how they feel when they spend, say, $200 of their hard-earned money on the game, all to get champions they can't even use in the game due to imbalances, because a lot of your champions are trash. I mean, you look at this with, like, the Sacreds here. Like, I mean, a Sacred costs at least $20 to $25 on average. Each legendary shard only has a 6% chance to get a legendary, so I'd have to buy 17 of these things in order to have a decent chance. I mean, that's a lot of money just at a chance to get a legendary. I mean, it's killing your sales, guys, because, like, those imbalances, like, you pull so many champions that are worthless, and it's like, and having more champions that are useful are not going to kill your sales, because people are still going to want to collect the other ones, and they're still going to want variety. But number 8, the daily rewards from Clan Boss, but only weekly for Arena. I mean, with Clan Boss, I get rewards every single day from it. Okay, not like they're that great, but at least I get rewards every single day. Meanwhile, with Arena, I only get them once every, like, 7 days, I think, like once a week I get rewards from Arena. the game almost exclusively revolves around making a solid clan boss group because of that, because it's the only thing that we get even halfway decent rewards from. The next issue is getting tons of duplicates. I mean, I have Tyrell, and since I got the first one, I've gotten 4 of him since. 4. Meanwhile, a clan member who has Skull Crusher has had the same exact problem. I would love to get Skull Crusher. I could use him for my clan boss group. Or I could use like Valkyrie, somebody else with damage mitigation. But I keep getting Tyrell and Steel Skull here instead. Meanwhile, somebody else has the same exact problem. They got Skull Crusher. He's gotten 5 Skull Crushers since he pulled Skull Crusher, but yet he has not gotten a Tyrell yet, which is what he desperately needs right now. Or, of course, somebody better, like, say, Altan, but he'd be happy with just a Tyrell. This is better odds. And from what I've seen from multiple accounts, it does seem like once we get a particular champion, especially when it comes to the epics, we tend to have an increased chance of getting that same champion again over other new ones that we don't have yet. And even if it's not the case, I mean, something needs to be done about duplicate champions. Some type of trade-in and re-rollability or something. Like this especially kills it for your whales who almost have almost every champion in the game, and they want to get the select few that they don't have yet. You just look on your forums and see how many whales have quit because they got sick and tired of spending so much on the game and getting so little in return, or they just end up getting the same legendaries and the same epics and they get fed up. And the worst part is your company, when people rage quit like that, you have a substantially increased chance of them disputing their charges. You're better off getting people to quit out of boredom than you are to have them quit of being ripped off like that. They're also less likely to go online and write bad reviews if they quit due to boredom rather than having spent X amount of dollars all to get a bunch of trash, rares, and epics in the game. Or even worse, they get all excited when they pull a legendary, all to find out it's somebody like, say, Shamrock. Shamrock is horrible. I mean, if you don't know, just look at his abilities. His abilities are garbage. Or like, say, this Guro. Guro isn't one of the worst, but he's not very good. But, I mean, there are some that are much, much worse that are just, like, complete garbage legendaries in this game. Black Knight. Black Knight is another one. Like, Black Knight is just... When I pulled him, like, I was like, ooh, it's a legendary that I don't have yet. Garbage. Faction Wars garbage. Arena garbage. Like, just garbage all around. He's just trash. Instead of, pulling a new legendary, they pull their 3rd Arbiter, and they're just irritated. Now, lots of players out there are furious also over the limited space in both the vault and the artifacts. I mean, my vault I haven't maxed out yet because I don't see a point, but... I mean, there's one of your top content creators. They ranted recently in a video about how if the vault storage space isn't increased soon, they're quitting. And they have over 17,000 subscribers currently. I mean, the storage should have been increased with the release of Faction Wars. And your company is literally killing its own sales by... keeping us from having room to put our new champions. Now, why are we going to buy shards when we have nowhere to put them? And yes, your company is greedy in thinking that if we have too much space, we're going to hoard champions for the fusions. This already has been addressed. Most of the time, the fusion champions are new champions anyway. And even if they aren't, what do you think is worse? Like, people already having the champions for fusion and you losing, $10 to $15 or so of energy they'd waste on, farming that dungeon and earning them, or losing the hundreds or even thousands of dollars from those players because they have nowhere to put new champions, so they're not buying shards anymore. This is again where Plarium lacks insight into the consequences of that greed. I mean, people, like, personally, I don't farm dungeons anymore. I already have tons of gear to sort from Faction Wars champions. I've tried to slim it down a little bit, but this is through hours and hours of effort. I've slimmed it down to 470. I can't get rid of this stuff because I'm still working on my Faction Wars champions. And so I don't farm the dungeon anymore. Like, it's very tedious and time consuming to sort gear for your champions. You have to compare it to sets with non-sets and the overall stats, and if the set bonuses are worth it compared to what the raw stats are on it, things like that. Like if my inventory wasn't full, I would be farming dragon regularly for better gear for my clan boss groups, for the lifesteal and the speed sets, but I have no room for it, so you're losing money from me because of it. You know, I mean, limited room means limited spending. So it doesn't mean that people are going to spend more money in during fusions. It means that people are going to spend less money because they have nowhere to put the stuff. So now, since I covered all the issues, I'm going to give the solutions. And I know this video is already a lot longer than I was expecting, so I'm going to try to keep this as short as I can as far as the solutions. They're pretty simple solutions for the most part. I mean, at the top of the list, balancing champions. Balancing champions will keep everyone from getting bored so quickly. We need more options. Like, there are champions I'd love to play with because of their look, but they're inferior to other champions of mine, so I can't. Like, I love the look of darker things. I love things like, say, like Inithway here. Like, to me, Inithway is awesome. Like, Tomb Lord, awesome. Tomb Lord was the first legendary I ever got. Like, look at Inithway here. He's freaking cool. Like, you know, he's got this like cool glowing hatchet. It's like just wicked looking helmet, armor. Like, he's cool looking. When I first pulled him, I was like, oh, awesome. But he doesn't scale well. Like, his A3 does not scale well at all. His A2 scales well, but it relies on that champion having lost a lot of hit points already, and in the beginning it doesn't. His A1 does hit fairly hard, but it's a single target damage, whereas like I could go with Bigon and have Bigon do just as much damage to him, but to like all the targets in AoE. So it's like, why would I use Inithway over Bigon when Bigon can do so much more for me? You know, it doesn't make sense. But I mean, guys, it gets mind-numbingly boring when we have to use the same exact overpowered champions over and over and over, like Martyr. I mean, Martyr is god tier. She's ridiculously overpowered for the clan boss. I mean, just about everything you need for clan boss except for, like, poisons. You know, I mean, you got an attack down as a backup here. You got your defense down as your main. You got a counterattack. You got increased defense. I mean, she's an amazing counterattack champion. But then, you know, you got like other champions that are legendaries that are complete garbage. Like, I mean, Inithway I wouldn't say is complete garbage, but like Black Knight, oh my god, like Black Knight here is complete trash. Like, I mean, you saw my Bannerlords group, even with a legendary in the group and with modest gear on him, like I can't get anywhere in that freaking thing. But, I mean, you guys keep pumping out more and more champions while the old champions are completely in balance. It's like pouring out garbage on top of more garbage. You know, the hoop's just getting bigger, smellier, and more appalling. You know, sure, you modify a few champions every once in a rare while, but you're pumping out new champions far more than you're modifying the old ones. And most of the time when you modify, you don't even fix them at all because your company, for some stupid reason, ignores the players. I mean, like, what the hell were you guys thinking with Tomb Lord here? Like, with Tomb Lord, I saw multiple threads in the forums about what was broken with him and what needs to be fixed. Like, why does he still have a defense aura only for arena when he's not built for arena? And like, a defense aura in arena, that's not for gold. That's not for top tier players. Like, come on. Like, why make a legendary that is designed to be sub top tier? Like, nobody in their right mind uses a defense aura in arena unless they're bored. And it's like, you guys made modifications to this stuff to make him more viable in dungeons, but not for arena. Like, what good is Blight going to do me in arena with this extra, where I get an extra turn if a target's turn meter is, you know, below, what is it, 50%, I think it is? Let me see. Gets an extra turn if an enemy's turn meter is reset by the skill. Excuse me. But the thing is that you should have Tomb Lord going first in arena. And if he's going first, all the turn meters of the enemies is going to be pretty freaking high already. So it doesn't really make much sense that, you know, if he only resets a turn meter of enemies less than 50% hit points. All right. So, I mean, oh yeah, and that was the issue, that the enemy has to be below 50% hit points. Well, Tomb Lord should be going first to apply a defense down on all the enemies so that you can use somebody like Bigon with an AoE attack after that to kill the enemy. So Tomb Lord should be going first in arena, other than a turn meter boost, of course, but yet at the same time, his A3 is dependent on the enemies being less than 50% hit points. Well, if that's the case, then I don't need an extra turn, and I don't need his defense down. It would make more sense to have somebody in there that's doing damage rather than a defense down if the enemy's already below 50% hit points. So the modification to this doesn't make sense. I mean, we told you what to fix multiple times in the forums. I mean, like I said, I saw at least 6 different threads in the forums prior to the modification that said exactly what was wrong with him and exactly how to fix him. And as usual, you guys completely ignored us, went in a completely different direction, and you made him god broken for a day because of it, and then you nerfed him right back to where he started. Like, in my opinion, he's even worse than he started because of the crit rate requirement here, where I need to have 100% crit rate in order to put these poisons out there, which is the only thing that makes him even a little decent compared with his A3. And then this here, again, I need a crit. So it's like I need to give 100% crit rate on him on a support champion whose attacks are attack based. Like, at least make these like hit point based or defense based or something. Like, it's just he either hits hard and he's really, really squishy, or he doesn't hit hard at all, and then it's kind of like, well, what's the point in having him taking up a space in your group? So anyway, I mean, this honestly, the modifications of Tomb Lord showed complete incompetence with the developers. I mean, honestly, we spoon-fed your developers what to do to fix him, yet they spit it right back out on the floor. So, I mean, stop trying to play Big Brother to your players. Your staff has demonstrated their incompetence countless times in the past through modifications that did little to nothing for the champion when your players told you what to do that would have fixed it. Your players are a lot more knowledgeable than your developers looking at computer code on a screen. All right, and then there's tons of trash legendaries that go completely ignored. Like I said previously, perfect example, you know, Black Knight. I mean, Black Knight here, for brevity, I'm not going to get into his skills, but I mean, because I covered it in another video here, like, he's broken, he's garbage. Like, I mean, even if as an epic, he wouldn't even be that great. But then meanwhile, like, when you nerf, you bury champions like Painkeeper. Oh, God, where is my Painkeeper? Like, I mean, my Painkeeper. Like, when you guys nerf Painkeeper, I almost quit. Like, I mean, you guys buried her with 3 nerfs at once, yet you can't balance properly. I mean, really, I did almost quit. I mean, Painkeeper was literally the only healer I had at the time, and you guys destroyed her. Absolutely destroyed her. The nerf was so brutal that my damage on Clan Boss decreased by about 40% on average at that time. And 2 friends I knew who used to play actually did quit back then. It sucked because they were referrals of mine and they stopped playing because they were so frustrated. They ran into the same issue I did, and both of them had paid money for buying Tombs and Energy to max out Painkeeper because for them, same issue. It was their only healer. And when you guys made the money we spent on her worthless, you really ticked a lot of players off. I mean, you did the same thing not too long after that with Steel Bowyer, and people were furious. There was a lot of people that quit over that too. And I mean, if you nerf, the right thing to do is refund what was invested into that champion. To not do so is actually illegal in the United States. I even double checked with a friend who's an attorney. If something's modified that a customer paid for in an interface like this, you're legally required to give them a period of time to choose to have a refund rather than keep that modified purchase. The length of time varies from state to state, I believe, but I mean, ask your company's lawyers. They'll verify that it's true. Not only is what you do unethical, it's illegal. I mean, your company's asking for a class action lawsuit with some of the stunts it pulls just to try to make a buck. And trust me, you're having more people quitting over doing things like that to them than you are having players go, oh, well, I guess I got to buy more shards because they nerfed my healer. Like, no. People are quitting more than they're buying more stuff that way. Because they go, well, why am I going to buy new things if they nerf that and then my money's going to be worthless again? They don't see any point. Like, but going back to the topic of imbalance and you guys spewing out more champions instead of balancing old ones, what makes no sense is that new players don't need new champions. As all champions are new to new players. Like, and your vets could care less about new champions. We've told this to you guys countless times in the forums. We do not care about new champions. And like, it's another complaint that you guys ignore, and it annoys them as a whole when you don't fix so many champions that you pour out new worthless champions and you keep watering down counterattack champions as a result. I know you think it'll sell more shards, but I assure you it's doing the opposite. When people look at all the legendaries and epics sitting in their vault that are worthless, like I have numerous different ones in here that are just complete trash that I'm not using. Some of them are sitting out here right now because I'm working on them for Faction Wars, but regardless, you know, they ask themselves, why would I waste any more money when it'll most likely just end up adding more champions to my vault, taking up space that I'm not going to use? Second solution, better rewards. Ultra Nightmare needs something better than rare tombs. I mean, or at least make rare tombs upgradable. Like say with the potions, where when we have potions, we can go in here for potions and upgrade our potions. Give us the same option in the skills to upgrade tombs. We need that. I mean, it wouldn't kill you to give us some legendary tombs and sacred shards a little bit more from Ultra Nightmare 2. I mean, there always will be incentive to buy more. It wouldn't hurt your sales, it would improve them, because people getting better rewards would encourage them to stick around more, and having more champions they could play with the balancing will encourage them to play more, because it'll keep things more interesting. That it's like one day they can do clan boss with these 5 champions, but the next day they can do it with these 5, and their damage will still be about the same. But it'll keep them from getting bored of having to use those same champions over and over and over and getting tired of seeing the same pixels over and over. Like, I mean, this is again where your company's greed is chasing away players. Like, you really need to do the same things for tombs that you do for potions, where you can make them upgradable. Another thing is a meter for guarantees. Numerous players have brought this up, like for sacreds and voids, ancient shards, like and also for the dungeon champions that we have to farm for the fusions. Like, you know, having a meter ensures that people aren't just wasting money and effort. Like, because so many people rage quit over no guarantees and getting shafted. Like, what you would do is basically you'd have a meter here. So say for my sacred shards, and I go to the sacreds, like, you know, you have that baseline 6% chance. All right, now say, you know, I pull a shard and I get an epic from a sacred. Now that 6% chance at a legendary goes up to, say, a 6.4 or a 6.5. I pull another one, I don't get it. Now it goes up to a 7%. Each time I pull a sacred and I get an epic, I have a slightly increased chance of getting a legendary until I finally pull a legendary, and then it resets back to the baseline 6%. But then it starts over again, where it gradually increases until I get another one. At least that way people know they're guaranteed that their effort and their money is going to earn them something eventually, and it increases their odds of getting it. I mean, you have so many people that have rage quit because of, like, with these like fusion events where they go to the dungeon and they farm Dragon's Lair to try to get this dude up here, and they spent 3,000 energy or 4,000 energy, I've seen sometimes, and they don't get the champion and they quit. And you just lost a player because of your greed. Like, that didn't help your sales, it hurt your sales. All right, like, and now say with the dungeons, like, say every time they farm Dragon's Lair, you see a percentage drop rate over here. Make it transparent. Say the percentage drop rate is only like, say, a, you know, 0.2% or something, you know. Okay, well then each time it doesn't drop, increase it by 0.1%. You know, something like that. Like, increase it so you have more and more of a chance of getting it eventually over time. I mean, I know your company doesn't like the idea of making things more accessible, but that's an extremely short-sighted perspective. I mean, look at the numbers on paper, and instead of real life impact, that's the wrong way to go. I guarantee you would make more money and retain more by giving these meters for these drops and for the shards than you will lose in ensuring people do eventually get rewards. I promise you that, because you're going to have less people quitting over frustration of spending $500 on sacred shards and getting garbage, you know. Or at least even if they got garbage from $500 worth of shards, they know now that they're finishing with a chance of, you know, 18% at least of getting a legendary next pull. You know, so they're at least, well, that sucks, I didn't get anything decent, but at least I know I have a much better chance of getting a legendary next go around, you know. So anyway, but yeah, I guarantee you guys, like, if you take the feedback into consideration, like, the feedback can verify this. Next thing is daily arena rewards. I mean, just like Clan Boss, the arena should reward us daily. It really should. I mean, not weekly. Like, I've been playing for 6 months now. I farm gold 4, and I have absolutely no useful artifacts yet from the arena rewards. Not a single one. Like, I keep some of them because I kind of wonder, like, well, maybe those shields will make it worth it on a champion that I need, like, the extra protection. But I mean, seriously, look at this. Is like, this is what I have saved here, and these things are not that great. Like, that's all that I have. And it's like, look, like a friggin' rare, 5-star rare, crit rate 5% HP 4. That's not even that good. Like, I hang on to it because it's like, well, it's a 12% hit rate and a 15% shield. So it's like, if I have a hit point champion that's really, really high hit points, maybe eventually it would make sense to have this on them. But most of the time, it's garbage. Like, crit rate, but no other stats that are worthwhile here. That's not very good. This epic here, attack, crit damage, speed, that's okay. That's like, but I mean, I've been playing for like 6, 7 months at least, and this is all that I have from Arena. I mean, come on. But then you look at, like, you know, the clan boss. Look at all these that I have of, like, immortals, cruel pieces, and a lot of these aren't particularly amazing, but they're at least viable enough that I have them sitting around in case I have a champion where I need the stats that are on these, you know. But yeah, I mean, something's seriously wrong there, guys. Like, you know, everything in endgame is dependent on clan boss rewards. That's it. Like, you need to make the arena more rewarding. All right. And then the thing is, too, next solution here is to make your in-game prices more reasonable. This is an app. It's not a Ferrari. It's an app, guys. I mean, the price of your in-game purchases, I mean, you price these things accordingly, more reasonably, I guarantee you'll increase sales substantially. There are not very many people out there willing to spend thousands of dollars on this app. I mean, it's pixels, guys. Like, fix your prices. Like, do a test. Try this, okay? For 1 week, cut all your prices for all packages in half. Literally in half. All right? Just for 1 week. Literally 1 week. Just try this, and then look at those profits afterwards compared to your previous profits. I guarantee you that if you make your prices more reasonable, profits will skyrocket. All right, and it won't hurt long-term sales. It'll increase them, because as the more a person has to play with in-game, the longer you'll retain their interest. Okay, like, the key to keeping them interested is to keep adding more content, like faction wars and other challenging content, so it doesn't get redundant. That's the way to keep people retained, you know, on top of that. But I mean, as far as making it so hard to get champions, that's not the way to retain. That's the way to keep people bored and losing interest and wasting so much money that they go, screw this, I'm not spending another $500 to get garbage champions again, and they lose. All right, duplicates issue. You know, the duplicate champions, all right? Give us an ability, say once a month or something like that, to go over here to the summoning portal and have an option over here somewhere, like for, like, say, a soul swap over here. And, you know, basically, like, once a month we can take an epic, one epic and one legendary of each. We have pay, you know, say X amount of gems, say, like, you know, 200 gems or 300 gems or something, and sacrifice that champion to resummon and get something new. I mean, this would still keep the RNG in the game, so they're not guaranteed to get a good champion, but it would let them recycle their trash champions and not let it get out of hand by regulating how often they could do it, by limiting it to once every, you know, 30 days. That would really, really help players out too. Players, I mean, I guarantee you do something like that, the feedback you would get would be amazing. And you could still profit off of it, because charge people, like I said, like 300, 400 gems to use that ability, you know? Don't make it absurd. Don't make it like 1,000 gems, because then you're just going to tick people off, because then it's like, why spend 1,000 gems when they could just, you know, buy in-game purchases and buy a new champion for less? Like, you have to make the gem cost, like 300-400, I think is still kind of steep too. Like, but I'm trying to say, like, I know you guys are greedy. I know you guys are going to want to do something really high, but, like, charge a modest amount of gems. Don't do coins, because we're so sick and tired of running out of coins in the game, and that is fun, like, making a lot of people quit too. Make it like a reasonable amount of gems and let them recycle it. If you did it for free, I guarantee your feedback would be astounding. Like, if it was just once a month, you get to do it for free, feedback would be amazing. Or do both. Do it once a month, you get to recycle one epic and one legendary for free, but then if you do a second one, you can do it one more time, but then it costs, say, 300 gems for, you know, a legendary and say, you know, 100 for an epic or something. Like, but yeah, I mean, that's just, like it needs to be fixed. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, like I said, you limit the amount of frequency they can do it like that, so then that way it won't get out of hand. Next thing is you need to increase the storage for vault and inventory. And this champion vault, I mean, this is the reason I don't expand it right now. 1.5 million coins, like that's hours of farming, guys. Come on, like 1.5 million just to expand this, like. Give us like an extra bonus 20 champion slots that we don't have to pay for. Just make the baseline increase by 20. Don't say, oh, well, now you can go up to 300, but now it's like 4 million per like 10 expansions. Like the prices for stuff of coins in the game is so unreasonable. And that's something that I don't see brought up that much, but I have a personal issue with. So I'm not going to get too much into that. But I mean, seriously, you need to increase the storage for vault and you need to increase it for artifact storage as well. This needs to go up to 1,000. It needs to. Because again, people like me are not farming because they don't have room. All right. And we need an interface for the vaults and artifacts that is sortable. Like, I shouldn't have to pull out my champions from vault in order to use them in the factions. It's so annoying. Like, we need more transparency too. We need to be able to access our champions from the vault for faction wars. And then we also need to be able to see what faction they are. There needs to be a symbol on these for the factions, or make it sortable by the factions. Like, I know that you can sort by factions over here, but like sorting by factions is so annoying. I don't know where one faction ends and another begins here. I have no idea. To me, this is just disorganized. Now I have all my food champions and the trash ones like cluttered in with my viable ones. And it's just, there's no organization to this. This is just clutter. Like, I know the faction, I know you guys meant well, but that's garbage. And then you can't do it in full. And the majority of my champions are in the vault. Like, you need to improve this interface. You need to increase it. All right. And I mean, people aren't spending because they are running out of room. I mean, it's almost like I feel like you guys are intentionally trying to chase people away by not listening to us and trolling us. I mean, I don't get why. Next thing is start listening to your players. I mean, honestly, nothing ticks a customer off more than a company ignoring them and them not being heard when they're upset. All right. And your company does this on a regular basis. More than anything in your forums, if you look at the reason people complain the most, it's because they're not being heard. They're being ignored. All right. I mean, start running polls on the forums. Get customer feedback. I guarantee you that if you start running polls, you'll find that the majority of your players out there agree with all of this. And that this does cover the main issues that the majority of them are disgruntled with. Like I said, I know I threw a couple of my issues out here and there. I tried to refrain from doing so as much as I could. I'm trying to be a neutral party of saying, this is what your players are upset about, Plarium. This is what you need to do to fix it. Here are the suggestions. But I mean, for all of you that are watching, feel free to add in the comments below. I'm trying to look out for this game. And, you know, in Plarium, I hope you can see it that way. This isn't flaming. I mean, I love this game. But I myself am getting ridiculously bored. Like, I've put a lot of money into this game. And meanwhile, I have to use the same exact 5 champions on Clan Boss every day. My arena is no fun because you saw why. I go first, I win. I don't go first, I usually lose. Most of the time I win. But you saw how quick it was, and that's not fun. I mean, I could have put that on auto and done the same thing. Like, arena isn't fun. You know, like if you added some damage mitigation to arena so that it was more about skills and more about, like, you know, where speed aura wasn't a be all end all, where like most rounds are going to last at least like 5 or 6 rounds, like that would be more fun. But like if you mitigated damage in arena so it's harder to kill each other in it, like I think that would make it a lot more fun. But anyway, there's a lot of different ways you can fix it, but that's not one of the biggest issues that I hear about, so I'm not going to get into details on that. But, I mean, the faction wars, I do it on auto since there's no rewards. It's not worth doing it manually. The dungeons are all on auto 20. Like, overall, I play very little, and most is done on auto in hopes that things might eventually get more interesting again one day, and I know a lot of other players that are like this. I stopped spending because I don't see the current prices as worth it, and I know a lot of others have started doing the same. I mean, while Plarium's locking threads on the forums about complaints, you can't regulate the internet. And a lot of people are concerned that this game is dying. And in its current state, it is. Content creators like myself are leaving, moving on to other games that are far more reasonably priced. Ones where the company listens to its players. I mean, people are getting bored, irritated, tired of not being heard. Something needs to change, or within a year, this game's profits are going to plummet. I promise you that. And you may say, like, I have no credibility, I have no what I'm talking about. Like, guys, like, I was a regional manager for years. I was the commencement speaker at my graduation ceremony. I was leader of both the local and national honor societies. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm saying, like, I have decades and decades of management experience, marketing experience, sales experience. Not only do I have personal experience, but I've trained other people to be successful in those things. And I can tell you, I know what I'm freaking talking about here, guys. And you're doing a lot of things to hurt your sales because there are people over there who are number crunchers looking at things on paper and thinking it looks good on paper, but not considering the customer feedback on it and customer response on it. All right. But I mean, please, Plarium, like, you need to change some of these things for the sake of keeping this game from going under. Start listening to your players. And again, I did my best to address the top issues that I know most of you have. But if you feel I missed something really important that you know is complained about a lot, please leave it in the comments below, guys. All right? Or if there's something in particular that really, really bothers you, leave it in the comments below, because I want you to at least have this venue here where you can be heard. And hopefully Plarium will take this to heart. Maybe they'll you know, start considering that me and a lot of other content creators are bringing up these issues. But who knows? We'll see in time. You know, who knows? Maybe one day, like Black Knight here, will be useful. Maybe one day they'll modify Tomb Lord again and actually make it to where, like, a lot of his abilities don't conflict with one another. Like, I feel like some of his abilities are good for dungeons, but then some are good for arenas. But then it's like the opposite, where it's not good for dungeons, not good for arena. So he's really conflicted right now and torn right now. So it's like he's not that great in either one, but he's okay in both of them. But for a legendary and how much tombs cost, I mean, again, look at how many tombs you need to max him out. 4, 8, 12, I think, on him. Yeah, 12 tombs. I mean, that's, again, like $200 worth of in-game purchases I would need to make to max him out. That's why I don't max him. I don't see him useful for any of my end-game content. So, and it's frustrating because I want to like Tomb Lord's first legendary I ever pulled. But anyway, I'm not going to get into my own personal rants. Like I said, this is for you guys and for you guys to be heard and hopefully for Plarium to listen. But guys, like, please start listening to your players. If you want to actually get voted for Game of the Year, start listening to us, because I can guarantee you, no doubt in my mind, from the feedback all over online and how shocked people are that you were even nominated to get voted as one of the top games, you guys are not going to get voted as the top game. I guarantee it. I know some people that have gone out and voted for games they don't even know or play just to make sure that Raid doesn't get voted the top game, because they know it's going to go to you guys' heads, and then you're going to go, oh, well, we should increase prices even more. Or, oh, we don't need to change anything. We're doing a great job because we just won App of the Year. Like, honestly, guys, I hate to say it, you don't deserve it, because you need to start listening to us. You have something that could be amazing here. I mean, amazing graphics. Faction Wars was a good step in the right direction, but start working on this stuff, please, guys. And again, any of you other players, any comments, feedback, just leave it in the comments below. But that's all that I got for now. I hope this does end up getting put to use, but we'll see. In the meantime, again, just leave your comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Until then, take care and good luck in the game. Hey guys, Anthony here, also known on this channel as AscendantGod. And shout out from down below, because we love everybody equally here. Well, thank you guys for checking out the channel here. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with the latest content as I provided on here. Also, be sure to check out the description sections of the videos regularly as well. That's where I provide you guys with all the resources that I'm able to find that I think would be useful for you. It's also where you can show your support, and it is much appreciated, because regretfully, playing video games and making funny videos doesn't support the family. So any support you guys give is really appreciated. And other than that, I think that's about all that I got for now. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get back to this here. I think I almost got it figured out. So wish me luck, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. So until then,